Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Smark, guys. For oh my god, I think
I'm done.
Spontaneous explosion.
Cancel the show.
What the hell was that? Explosion on the couch. All right, for July 13th, 2013. Welcome. I am Darkside Phil, and with me, as always, is John Rambo.
Take it in.
This is an exciting week for pro wrestling. We've got the lead-in to two major, I guess you could say pay-per-view, even though for TNA technically it's not pay-per-view anymore.
Two major shows.
Events that are coming up this week. And so we've got a lot of build-up. We've got a lot of the ending of certain storylines leading into this pay-per-view. Very exciting week for pro wrestling. We've got the Money in the Bank pay-per-view for WWE, which is going to take place tomorrow.
24 hours away.
That's right. And we also have the Destination X special that's going to be this week on TNA. Lots to talk about leading into this, some major developments, so we're going to get started. It is important to note that later today, we are going to be simulating for the first time in 3 months since WrestleMania, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Unless something was terribly wrong.
I hope not. That'd be nice if it didn't. With all the setup and everything we just went through, trying to get all the characters and the music and everything.
It's really an annoying process, because you got to make sure you got all the guys. Then you got to make sure the universe is all set up. You have to make sure everyone's got
titles are on the right person, right?
Then until you do a tag title match, if the guys are actually a team, you got to put them together. It's a lot, man.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it, because it's going to be I get the feeling, a longer episode. So Raw this week. A lot of stuff going down on Raw this week, all right? We had a big build-up to Raw this week because this was Vicky Guerrero's assessment as the interim general manager, or whatever they wanted to call her. And I think she wasn't called the interim. It was some stupid title that they gave her.
The Vice President of Talent Relations.
Right. Whatever, yeah. So, the cool thing about WWE this week is what they decided to do was, because they had these Money in the Bank matches coming up on Sunday, they tried to have the participants kind of have matches with each other, which led to, in my opinion, some of the best pro wrestling that I've seen on TV, not pay-per-view, but just regular TV, in quite some time. And we had some really high-profile matches this week. So just to give you an idea, the first match of the night was Daniel Bryan against Sheamus. So this was...
It's a rematch.
A rematch from WrestleMania.
From the 18-second match.
Right, a rematch from the rematch of the rematch. You know, they had this match many times last year, but we haven't seen it in quite some time. Now, it is important to note that Daniel Bryan has now become a full-on face. The crowd is hot for him again. He's just as white hot as he was over a year ago before WrestleMania, before he went heel. And he lost in that, 16 seconds, whatever it was.
He was pretty hot then. They just didn't use him.
Right.
And they made up the thing where the fans are only chanting yes to mock him, not because they like him.
Right.
That's why they're doing it. Wink.
So, he's going back to yes. He doesn't say no anymore. He goes back to yes. They now call his finisher the yes lock again. So he's right back to that old program from over a year ago. And what a good match. Let me say, Daniel Bryan put in some of the best solid wrestling I've seen this week. And just is really doing a really good job. And I think WWE is recognizing that for the first time in a while, and they're rewarding him by kind of giving him a big push here, okay?
Which makes sense. If you're doing well.
Right.
The crowd likes you when you wrestle really well.
You should probably be rewarded for your efforts. Yeah. It would be nice.
Perhaps.
So Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, really good match. They go back and forth, and it turns out Daniel Bryan actually does win. I'm trying to remember. He reverses. That's right. Sheamus, it's a series of reversals. So first it looks like Daniel Bryan's going to possibly do one move, and he reverses it, and he puts him into another move. So then finally he puts him into the cloverleaf, the Texas cloverleaf, because they call it the Irish cloverleaf for some reason. And he's about to do it, and Daniel Bryan reverses that, puts him into a cradle pin, and wins the match. So after the match, Daniel Bryan's celebrating, and now, because of course both these guys are faces, they actually shake hands after the match. So, pretty interesting. Pretty fun to see, again, Daniel Bryan seemingly on top and doing a good job, doing a really good job. We're going to talk more about that because he actually was on the programs a lot this week. The next match of the night was Tag Team Champions Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins against Tons of Funk. This was good. I liked this match because even though, Tons of Funk, you would think you know, they're going to be maybe dominant in this match. No, they pretty much almost get squashed in the match by the Shield. I loved the finish where Roman Reigns hit Sweet Tea with a crazy-ass spear. And it's like, damn, you know, these two big guys. He hits it with the spear. It's like really impactful, so it's a really good sell. And the Shield goes over, which is good. John Cena and Mark Henry meet face-to-face. And this was, I don't know, I thought this was kind of dumb. I hate these face-offs that they do for title matches. Well, it's like, you know something's going to happen. It's very cliche.
Cena's always in them, and he's always got some kind of, like...
That's true. It is always Cena. You're right. It's always got some, like, Cena.
Bunch of jokes from, like, middle school. And, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
So that's pretty much what happened. They went back and forth, you know, with the face-off. And basically, Cena, I think it was Mark Henry sucker punches Cena. But then Cena reverses and tries to do the attitude adjustment, but he buckles under the weight of Mark Henry. And so now they're saying, can John Cena possibly attitude adjust Mark Henry? I'm like, now let's see. I think I remember 3 different times when he's fucking done it, and they couldn't believe that he did it, and they pretended like it was the first time.
Other wrestlers he's gone against where they said, can he do it? And he did. Who were bigger, you know, as big or bigger than him.
Right. So it's kind of silly at this point that they're still saying, oh, can someone do their finisher to Mark Henry because he's so big? Yeah, but they're still doing it. It's very silly. Chris Jericho has a match against Curtis Axel. Now this is interesting because this week what they seemed to do, they mixed up a couple of the pay-per-view matches. So at the pay-per-view it's going to be Jericho against Ryback, and it's going to be The Miz against Curtis Axel.
Yes.
But what they did, they shuffled them up. So Chris Jericho actually wrestled Curtis Axel, and The Miz wrestled Ryback this week. Okay? So Chris Jericho against Curtis Axel, and it's a very good match. Jericho, obviously, you know, whenever he has these matches, he tries to put over who he's wrestling against. But interestingly enough, he does a code breaker to Axel outside the ring, and then gets in before the 10 count and wins the match in a count out. So it's a weird ending to the match. Very weird, okay? And of course...
Which means that Kurt's probably going to win his match at the pay-per-view, and Jericho will lose his.
Right. So
that's how that works. Yes.
I'm trying to see, because there was a weird twist at the end, because The Miz, I think, was there, too.
Something happened after the match.
I'm confused. It was a confusing ending. I don't remember if it was count. No, I think the count-out was actually on SmackDown now.
Several of the fans came out into the ring. Howard Finkel fought them off with his microphone.
Anyway, I'm reading the results.
The
results are all stupid. So basically, Jericho gets the one-up this week on Axel, okay? And The Miz, of course, is taunting Axel, haha, whatever, you know, you lost, whatever. We have Alberto Del Rio versus Sin Cara, but it goes to a double count-out because Dolph Ziggler, obviously, you know, keeps throwing him off, keeps distracting him. So this is the Ziggler-Alberto Del Rio angle that they're going with. So that's, you know, that's what happens there. It's just kind of a throwaway match. All right, so the big news of the night, well, I guess the first big news of the night, there were 2 big things that happened on Raw, was that Vicky Guerrero gets her performance evaluation from the McMahons. So all 3 McMahons come out.
I saw some of this. This is actually the only part of the show I saw.
Vince, Steph, and Triple H.
I saw this for like 10 minutes. What was happening with this, and I said no more. And I was done with the show after this point.
You saw like the worst part of the show.
I know. I know. That's what happened. I know.
So it was terrible. Of course, you had Vince praising Vicky, Triple H criticizing Vicky. Steph was kind of the middle ground. And so Steph basically threw it out there and said, we're going to leave it in the hands of the WWE fans. Now, of course, what do you think the fans are going to say about Vicky Guerrero? I mean, she's one of the biggest heels in the company. Yeah. So, obviously, they all boo her, and they decide, well, that's it, you're done. But Vince is pissed. He's pissed that it came to this, because he likes Vicky, supposedly. And so he basically says, that's fine. Well, guess what? Since you fans are all idiots, I'm going to give you what you deserve. Your new GM is... The fuck's his name?
Brad Maddox.
Brad Maddox, that's right.
Bischoff Jr. That's his real name.
Yeah, Bischoff Jr.
Bischoff.
So, Brad Maddox now ends up being the new GM of Raw, to which everyone's like, oh, God, what are they going to do with this? These Raw GM storylines for the past few years.
He stood there with like a stupid look on his face.
Oh, he couldn't believe it. I can't
for
believe
like
it.
5 minutes, and then the announcers kept going on and on about it.
Oh, someone in the chat just made a suggestion. They should have made Don Matrix the GM of Raw. That would have been a better choice. Yeah. All right, so
that'd be interesting.
So Brad Maddox will be the new GM of Raw. We don't know what's going to happen with that. They've been doing these really weird GM angles for the past year. We'll see what happens with that. Okay.
Really weird, really bad GM angles. They don't make any sense.
They're all horrible.
AJ was one for no explanation.
Fucking
John
Laurinaitis was the worst
was in
by
there.
far.
Triple H was one. He got replaced, but now he's in charge of picking who does it.
Right.
Vicky was that. They're trying to figure out if they should keep Vicky or not, but she was one for like 10 years already. They have to evaluate her talent. It's horrible.
It doesn't make sense, right? All right, so going along with this idea that they're going to have singles matches of all the participants of the Money in the Bank matches coming up on Sunday, Kane has a singles match with Christian. I kind of feel bad for Christian because he seems like the whipping boy right now. Like, he's pretty much jobbing to everybody since he came back.
He's the veteran that does the job.
Right.
You know.
So in this case, Kane goes over. And it's a great match, by the way. Don't get me wrong. Both of these guys are doing all their trademark stuff. It's a really good match. But Kane gets the surprise choke slam at the end, ends up winning the match. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the debut, which they've been teasing for, 2 months now they've had these promos running? Finally, it's the debut of the Wyatt family. Now, we've seen Husky Harris before, obviously.
Yeah.
When he debuted in the Nexus. Well, he was, I guess, the new Nexus, the second wave Nexus or whatever. We've seen the guy with the red beard. I don't even know what his name is at this point.
The bald guy?
Yeah, the bald guy with the red beard.
That's Rowan. We saw him
at WrestleMania. We saw him live at WrestleMania. He was actually in a fan access. He was doing a match.
And Luke Harper is a dude that I watched quite a bit. He was known as Brody Lee in the Indies and Dragon Gate and stuff. I watched him quite a bit. The guy's really, really good. He's probably one of the best big men they have. He's a big dude, but he can do all kinds of little man stuff. You know, he's quick. He has a crazy big boot.
Oh, that's
he used
good.
to do a big boot against the railing. He put the guy in the railing on the outside and rolled a boot.
Huh.
So he's really good from what I've seen in the past.
All right, so that could be interesting to see what these guys can do. But anyway, so they come out and they literally just beat the living shit out of Kane. They throw him into the stairs. They're doing crazy stomps on his face. They're doing all this stuff, and so we'll just cut to the chase. It's announced that Kane will not be in the Money in the Bank match on Sunday. He cannot compete. They actually announced that on SmackDown. I don't know what the angle is. Maybe they thought there were too many people in the match. I don't know what it was. But, yeah, so Kane is not in the match. It's only a 6-man Money in the Bank ladder match.
What do you think about people, what do you do with these people that train Husky Harris?
Well, I mean...
There's a point where, like a smart mark will become a mark again.
Right.
You know? Like, I'm so smart, I know that he's Husky Harris, so I'm going to chant it. Which is becoming a mark. It's like a circle.
Right.
Like, you're not smart if you're doing that. Like, it's not like something you know, and you're telling everyone else.
Right.
You know?
And it's kind of annoying, you know.
What you're doing is ruining it for yourself,
people,
yourself too, you know.
Right. People are trying to get over these new characters, and you got to be a dick about it and be like, oh, I know who that is.
I went to Raw last year, and there was a guy like with 10 subs in the ring. The whole time, for about 10 minutes, he's chanting Albert, standing on his chair. Like, it was the biggest idiot, probably the biggest thing I've ever seen.
I'm so smart because I know that you used to be another character. I will announce
I'm the only one that knows the secret thing. That really doesn't even matter anyway.
Well, the joke's on him because he's now Sweet Tea, so there.
That's what he does. He's Tensai, not Sweet Tea.
No, so now he stands on his chair and goes, Tensai!
Yeah. So people like that, you paid your money and you have the right to do what you want at the show, but you're rooting for everyone else and you're also rooting for yourself, man.
Right.
Instead of watching the cool entrance of this new group,
right,
that might possibly be like a historic thing going forward, you're
the
idiot.
I will ruin it.
I was training Husky Harris.
I knew he was Husky
Harris.
Harris.
Like the mark that I am.
Very stupid.
You know.
Okay. So then there was a Divas tag team match. Kaitlyn and Layla against AJ and Alicia Fox. But it ended up going to a no contest because if I remember correctly, I believe that it was a weird match. Like, they just got called off for no reason. It was like Kaitlyn speared AJ outside the ring and the match just ended. And you're looking at it like, what happened? Like, why is the match over? It's very odd, very confusing. But they just like called it off a no contest.
All right.
And in the main event, I have to say this. The main event, I enjoyed very much, but at the same time, I missed the ending. Because again,
you gotta figure this out,
the
man.
stupid overrun, dude. Every week now, the overrun is so long.
Can you TiVo the thing after the
I may
show
have
after
to,
Raw?
I may have to start because like, it's so annoying because what happens is even the way that they put the Raw into the DVR, it does have a 10-minute overrun, but the show's been running longer than like 10 minutes now after the hour. So I always get to the very end when something cool's gonna happen, and then it fucking shuts off, and I'm like, ah, and I have like blue balls, and I have to go fucking on the internet and try to figure out what happened. So in this case, it was Randy Orton against CM Punk. They had a really outstanding match, and they haven't wrestled in several years. So to see them in the ring again, you know, that was a cool thing. So what ended up happening, I'm reading the results here, because I didn't see the ending. He countered the RKO with a kick to the head and then a go to sleep. So Punk does go over clean, which is cool, because Punk is a full-on face again. Now, what happens then is Daniel Bryan, out of nowhere, like we said, this is like the week of Bryan, seriously. He rushes the ring with a ladder, and he basically beats the crap out of Punk and Orton with this ladder, climbs the ladder, and grabs the briefcase that has been hanging above the ring all night as like a symbol of the pay-per-view. And basically it's like, oh, this is symbolic of what will happen on Sunday. Will Daniel Bryan become the new, the new Money in the Bank two-time winner?
No, they did that, maybe not. But if you remember last year, that's what they did with Cena. The Raw before Money in the Bank was Cena doing something similar.
Yep.
Then he posed at the top of the ladder.
Yes.
And then he just won it anyway.
Yes. He won it anyway. So we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
Which is a good thing.
Pretty interesting right now. I think it's a toss-up. No one really knows who's going to win this contract, especially coming out hot off Raw. Who knows? I mean, it looks like maybe Bryan could be the strongest contender, but is it a bait and switch?
Will it be someone that takes Kane's place and then wins?
Will it be Christian and then he'll immediately cash it in and job? No.
It won't be Christian. Tell you that much.
And that is a good point. Like, could someone replace Kane? Could possibly...
Does RVD have a chance?
The Big Show, who has not been on TV for several months.
That would suck. That would get booed, man.
I know, but they might do it. They might actually do it. I don't know.
That'd be horrible.
All right. So SmackDown. Once again, Daniel Bryan, white hot this week.
D. Bryan's my fave five.
And I do have to say this too: the crowds for both Raw and SmackDown this week were outstanding crowds. They were very loud. You know, everything they were popping for was very good.
Where was it located?
That I don't know. And
it usually has something to do with it.
They don't list that in the results either, which is kind of... Oh, here we go. Hampton, Virginia.
Oh, wow. I don't know. It's Flair country, huh?
Hampton, Virginia.
And Charlotte, North Carolina.
And Raw was Baltimore, Maryland.
It's Horseman country, Virginia.
Yeah, that's true. That's NWA. NWA.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, though.
Long time ago. So Daniel Bryan opens up the pay-per-view. Opens up the show with a singles match against Christian. And like I said, unfortunately, Christian's like the whipping boy this week. So
this week, it's most of his run there.
I guess that's a good point. So
remember they called him the creepy little bastard?
The creepy little bastard. Remember
CLB?
that? Yes, that is true.
So Vince would call him, and then they'd kill it on.
All right. So Daniel Bryan has a singles match with Christian. Obviously, he goes over, beats him with the yes lock. So it's a clean win. Okay. So then they come backstage to Theodore Long. Now, by the way, it's important to note Teddy Long's been the GM of SmackDown for like 2 months now. They never explained what happened.
I didn't even know that. I did not know that at all.
Yeah, Booker T had surgery like 2 months ago. No one really knows what happened with him, why he needed the surgery.
Yeah, he's just wear and tear over the years.
They're not explaining it, and he hasn't come back, and it's weird. It's so odd that this is happening. I don't know where are they going with this? I don't know. But anyway, Teddy Long is the GM of SmackDown, and he's backstage with Dolph Ziggler. Now, Ziggler has been interfering with Alberto Del Rio's matches for weeks now, okay? So Teddy Long basically says to Ziggler, I'm giving you the night off. And Ziggler's like, well, no, that's ridiculous. I want a match. And he's like, no, you have the night off because Vicky just got fired. I'm not going to get fired, and I can't have you interfering in matches, so you have the night off. Okay? So this leads into what's going to happen later in the night, which is actually quite amusing, actually. There's a singles match, Seth Rollins against Jey Uso. And Seth goes clean over Jey. This is leading into, obviously, the tag team titles match that is the pre-show match for the pay-per-view coming this Sunday. Chris Jericho against Curtis Axel, and he beats him again by countout. In this case, I think he hits him with the code breaker, and Axel rolls out of the ring. And Paul Heyman's like, no, get up, you gotta get in the ring, And he can't do it. He just can't do it. And he flips out after the match. He's so pissed. He's like, I can't believe this. You lost again. He's like flipping, throwing shit and everything. Like, he's really pissed.
Axel's pissed?
Yeah. He's pissed that he lost again. He's like, I can't believe I lost this guy again, twice.
He's gonna beat The Miz.
Of course he is.
It's The Miz.
Of course he is. Alright. The next match I actually enjoyed a lot. Alright. Ryback against The Miz. Now, Ryback, the whole program with him over the past few weeks is that Jericho calls him Cryback because he keeps complaining about his knee.
Pussyback. Call the bitch back.
Bitch back, yes. So, Ryback in this match, the whole story of the match is that Ryback is dominating, he's beating Miz. Miz all of a sudden starts kicking him in the knee, and of course he's selling, oh, my knee, my knee. At one point he puts his knee up on the turnbuckle and like does like a crazy attack to it. And so Ryback's on the ground and he goes, oh, I felt something pop. I felt something pop, my knee. He's like going nuts about his knee. And the ref's like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to stop the match? Now, this is kind of the same scenario from a week ago where Ryback did stop the match and actually gave the Miz the win.
Does she say feed me more anymore?
No.
Because the crowd, they don't want the crowd to chant
Right,
it. So.
right. So it's done. They don't do that anymore. They took it away from him. So he's like, oh, my knee, my knee. So the ref's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, well, don't stop the match, but help me up. So the ref helps him up, right? So the Miz is just kind of standing there like, I don't know what to do. You know, it's just stupid. Like, I'm just standing here doing nothing. What am I supposed to do? All of a sudden, Ryback turns around. Boom! He clobbers him with a meat hook clothesline out of nowhere. Then picks him up and does the shell shock and wins the match. So it's like, was he faking? Does he really have any injury? Was it all just a plan all along? No one seems to know what's going on with Ryback. So that's what happens with Ryback. He goes over the Miz.
Why is he funding Chris Jericho?
Yes.
Why is he such a heel all of a sudden?
Why?
Why does he say feed me more? Why is he cry back?
I don't know.
Why is he generic heel?
Okay. Then they say history will be made here tonight on SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, the first ever Divas contract signing is happening tonight. Like, what the fuck? You know this is going to be terrible, right?
First ever.
Yeah, it's the first time Divas ever signed a contract for the title.
That one. I remember Alundra Blaze and Bull Nakano doing a little contract.
Most people don't remember.
I swear to God, I think they
John,
did.
They weren't Divas, John. They were, those were
women.
female wrestlers.
They were
These are
wrestlers.
Divas.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were female superstars back then.
Yes. So they're both sitting there. They actually have a bunch of other Divas in the ring. Teddy Long's there. Everyone's there. Okay. And so, of course, AJ starts poking at Kaitlyn, trying to rile her up.
Catfishing her from the table.
Yeah, it was
texting
funny.
her. She's like, who's texting me? Another lover.
Another,
and AJ's right over there. Right
So, actually, you'd be surprised because we didn't hear what actually happened.
I don't want to know.
So, they're sitting there, and AJ's like, she's trying to goad her, and Kaitlyn won't take the bait. She's like, I'm not going to get pissed. Screw you. You know, I'm going to sign the contract. So she signs the contract, and AJ goes, you shouldn't have done that. Now you're gonna regret this. And she pulls out her phone. And she goes, when you thought that I was your secret admirer, here's some of the texts that you sent. So she goes, oh, Natalia, she says she's my friend. Well, I don't know if I can trust her. Remember, never trust a Neidhart. It was like,
whoa!
What the hell? It was like, what? And Natalia's like, what? Why would she say that?
Somewhere the Anvil was stroking his beard. Yeah.
And then she goes, who was the next one?
Is this true? Did she actually do this, or is she just making it up?
I guess it was supposed to be true.
So, like, she
confided in her secret admirer.
She doesn't know who the person is, but she's gossiping about this.
Yeah, she's gossiping for everyone. And she does this for, like, 3 of the Divas, right? She pisses at all the Divas.
This is what we talked about last week. The Divas division is written by, like, a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, it is, like a high school girl.
15-year-old girl writes the
So Kaitlyn gets pissed, grabs the phone out of her hand, throws the phone out of her hand.
Stephanie McMahon, by the way, who's doing it, but... Alright, just keep going.
then AJ goes, oh, that's okay, because I have it on the Titantron. So then they go again, they keep doing it. They're doing more of these, right? They do like 3 or 4 of them. So then finally Kaitlyn gets, of course, ridiculously pissed off.
That's what she says about Natalia, not the part that she farts.
No,
Natalia
not that.
smells like shit. She farts all over the...
Natalia should really look into Beano.
That's what she gets around the Can't Trust Her.
So,
wow.
Kaitlyn stands up. She's so pissed. She pushes... I guess they had them in, like, rolling office chairs. So she pushes the table into AJ and rolls her all the way to the corner. Traps her in the corner, alright? Then she stands on the table and starts beating AJ's face with her fist. So she's doing this, and then, Biggie Langston pulls her away, right? And then Kaitlyn turns around and literally, like, meaty, like, slap or punch to Langston's face, like, hard. This was it was really well done, the way that they did it, but boom, hits him so hard. Now, he doesn't flinch, but he goes, oh, like he's pissed that she did it. And she turns around and she spears AJ, like, super hard. And then she just rolls out of the ring and leaves. So, the typical WWE contract signing, the same shit happens every fucking time. It never fails. It's always the same shit. And,
I watched Impact this week. You got to see an awesome Knockouts ladder match.
Yes.
Sounds a little better than this.
Yeah, compare that to this, and you're like, gee, I wonder which company is more serious, you know.
Sounds a little better.
Fandango has a singles match with Wade Barrett.
You say his name right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fandango.
Yes, there you
Has
go.
a match with Wade Barrett.
You may continue.
On commentary is Zeb Coulter.
Oh, God.
And standing next to him are Jack Swagger and
Cesaro.
And I have to say, Zeb Coulter is funny. He's a funny character.
He's been around a long time. He knows what he's doing.
He's good at what he does. He's very entertaining. And the other thing I want to say, JBL is getting hilarious on his commentary. The stuff he pulls out.
Zeb used to manage JBL.
He did?
When he was Uncle Zeb.
Oh, shit.
And he was Justin Hawk Bradshaw.
Right.
He was his manager. Probably 1995.
So
it was terrible.
So these two have some good interactions. I really like JBL on commentary. I think that he's hilarious at this point, some of the stuff he pulls out. So he's doing commentary.
I don't mind him, but the problem when you put him with Michael Cole and you put him with the King, then it just turns to...
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's overload.
One guy can screw around. The other guy, one guy's got to be like, take it seriously.
The straight man, right. Yeah. So it's very odd because he's doing commentary, and all of a sudden they start talking about two of the other people that are in the Money in the Bank ladder match for SmackDown. They start talking about Team Rhodes Scholars, and Zeb's like, I don't think that they're legal. We gotta check their birth certificates. I think we need to deport them.
He's the son of Dusty Rhodes, man.
Yeah, I know.
The American Dream.
The American son of American Dream. Like, we need to deport them, right? So,
I don't know. You could be...
So Team Rhodes Scholars comes out because they're pissed. They heard this on commentary, and they run to the table like they're going to beat up Zeb Coulter. So Wade Barrett gets distracted, and Fandango rolls him up and wins. It's like, what the hell?
What the hell's Fandango supposed to be nationality-wise? Where do they say he's from when he comes out?
I have no idea. It's just a weird stuff going on with SmackDown. So then the match ends in bedlam because everyone's like arguing outside the ring, and Wade's pissed because he lost the match because he was distracted. He's yelling at the ref, why wouldn't you stop that, and blah, blah, blah. So all kinds of... That's the SmackDown situation with their Money in the Bank match, okay? All right, so the next match was hilarious. This was hilarious. So Alberto Del Rio is supposed to have a match with Sin Cara, okay? So Alberto Del Rio comes out. By the way, Ricardo Rodriguez, behind the scenes, has been suspended for substance abuse. So therefore, he's out of the picture, and Alberto Del Rio's by himself. So he comes out, does his pose, whatever. So Sin Cara comes out. But Sin Cara seems to have grown several feet because he's tall as well now. He's very tall. He comes out, he's posing, he's done the Sin Cara stuff. He points to the ring, he runs, he does the Sin Cara entrance, immediately starts attacking Del Rio, beats the crap out of him, does a zigzag, and leaves the ring. So everyone's like, that wasn't Sin Cara, who the hell was that? What's going on? I don't understand. So then... they cut to backstage, and they show Teddy Long walks up to Sin Cara. And he goes, Sin Cara, what the hell was that? You know, I know that's you. That's Ziggler. I know that's you, Ziggler. So he's going to take Sin Cara's mask off. He's like, no. Like, he can't speak English. And then it turns out Ziggler walks around the corner. He's like, oh, I just came back to get my phone. I left it here by accident. Sorry, Teddy. So basically, Ziggler dressed up as Sin Cara, impersonated him for the match. Now, isn't it funny? It's only 2 weeks since Austin Aries impersonated
they do that
Suicide, and now we got Ziggler impersonating Sin Cara. It's the same plot line. They're copying off of each other. So that was pretty funny, I have to say. And then finally, the last match of the night: Sheamus versus Randy Orton. Okay, and it's a good match. Again, the same plot line of they're doing all these singles matches from the people who are going to be in the Money in the Bank match on Sunday. It's a very good match. Unfortunately, it ends in a no contest when, once again, Daniel Bryan comes out with a ladder again, interrupts the match, attacks them both with the ladder, right? Then he starts climbing the ladder like he's going to get the briefcase again. Christian comes out of nowhere. Christian starts attacking him. Sheamus starts attacking again. And then all of a sudden...
The old go-home.
Right.
Like the Royal Rumble, they always do that, too.
Right, that they do. Everyone's knocking each other over the top rope. And then finally, to end it, Randy Orton RKO's everybody and then goes up and he gets the briefcase. So now they're teasing, will it be Randy Orton on Sunday who will win the Money in the Bank ladder match? You know, what's
possible. I mean, he's got 2 strikes, so I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised.
What are you talking about, John? What does that mean? 2 strikes.
I don't know. I'm a mark, just like the guy chanting for
How dare you? How dare you?
I know inside stuff, so if I was at the show, at that point I'd be chanting, 2 strikes, for like 20 minutes straight. To show how smart I am.
Yes. All right. So, just to review the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, we'll go all the matches. You've got the pre-show match, which is Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns defending their tag team championships against the Usos.
Shield will win.
Of course. You got Chris Jericho against Ryback.
Ryback wins.
We've got the Divas Championship match. AJ Lee defending against Kaitlyn.
AJ wins.
We've got the Miz against Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel.
We've got the World Heavyweight Championship match. Oh, I'm sorry, the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank match.
Yes.
Who is Fandango, Team Rhodes Scholars, Cesaro, Jack Swagger, and Wade Barrett.
You said Ambrose?
And Dean Ambrose. I forgot. Dean Ambrose is in it as well.
He's going to win. That's why. You got to say his name.
Ambrose? He's going to win?
I think so.
You think so?
That's a toss-up. That's good. You don't really know.
The funny thing about the whole situation is for the past, 3 weeks, it's been all the heels fighting each other, but not Ambrose. He hasn't ever been really involved in this whole angle.
The Shield's going to come out. They're going to knock people over the ladder. He's going to help him up. He's okay. He's going to win.
He's going to win it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be great. He's going to hold it for a while. The Shield will be more powerful than ever. It'll be really good. That's what they should do.
All right. We'll see what happens with that.
Or Cody.
And then we get...
And then Dusty comes out.
Yes,
dances.
the love stash. He'll tape a giant mustache onto the briefcase and carry it around.
His gimmick is literally he has a mustache.
That's his gimmick. You're right.
He has a mustache. That's his gimmick.
The mustachioed man.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Raw Money in the Bank match, which is the All Stars match. All right. So it's official. Kane is
the All Stars. Who are the other guys?
Kane is. They're the nobodies. The jobbers and the All Stars.
The job stars.
So we've got Daniel Bryan, who's white hot right now. Randy Orton, Sheamus, CM Punk,
RVD.
Christian, and RVD. So it's a 6-man Money in the Bank match for that one. And then we've got the 2 title matches. We've got the World Heavyweight Champion.
We didn't pick a winner.
What?
We didn't pick a winner.
Oh, all right. Pick a winner.
I'm saying Daniel Bryan, number 1. Number 2, RVD.
Wow. RVD returns and gets the Money in the Bank right off the bat.
That's right.
And then he cashes it in, surprisingly, for the ECW Championship, which doesn't exist. So
then he's gone.
He's the game. They released him. Yes.
And then he's released. Yeah.
All right. World Heavyweight Championship match, Alberto Del Rio against Dolph Ziggler. What do you think?
I think Del Rio wins, then Ziggler eventually wins it back at SummerSlam.
Okay.
Just to stretch it out, they'll keep it going. They don't need to do title changes on the show because you got the Money in the Banks.
That's true.
So there's people winning stuff anyway.
But you remember, one year, Kane won the Money in the Bank, and then that same night cashed it in and won the title.
And CM Punk also won the title on the Money in the Bank.
Right.
But I think they're going to go play it slow, and we'll see these rematch at SummerSlam. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a good prediction. And then we've got WWE Champion John Cena defending against Mark Henry.
The worst match on the show.
Which, of course, Mark Henry is going to win in a resounding squash victory.
I think Cena will win. They should have Mark win, as we spoke about in previous episodes of Smart Guys, because just why not? He deserves it.
Let him have it for a month, right?
And then,
Cena wins it back at SummerSlam. That would be a good outcome, but I don't think they're going to do that either.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, so now we're going to talk about TNA. TNA, very interesting this week.
TNA, I want to talk about. I went to TNA last week. I went to a live show.
I forgot. Yes.
And I went to in the same building, Westchester County Center. Holds about 3,000 people. I went there last year. They did a show. Last year about 75% full. This year I go up to get a ticket, and it's $20, $40, $20, $40, or 70. So I was like, give me the 20. So I remember from last year it was about 75% full. So I'm thinking I could probably move up,
right?
Which is what I did last year.
Right.
Little did I realize how true that was. Less than half the place was full.
Wow.
And I was able to go into the 5th row. I was able to go to the front row of the balcony. I was just moving all around per match. And it was kind of depressing because the show itself was really good.
Right.
Pretty much everyone was there except for Hogan and Sting. But Aces and Eights, you had Jeff Hardy and just Joe and all.
Magnus, who's hot right now.
Magnus, you had everybody, man. It was really fun. The guys really worked hard. But it's just really sad. Even the New York market too, which is the biggest media market in the country.
Right.
You can't even get half the people in there. And WWE was there, I think, 3 months ago. I didn't go because I don't really give a shit. But they sold out, and I guarantee the TNA show was a lot better than the house show WWE did, where they just go through the motions for the most part, their house shows.
Yeah.
But that was the sad part of it, because they deserve better, and they're doing really good. As you watch Impact, it's really good.
Right.
But I really enjoyed the show. It was a lot of fun. They do cool stuff. I didn't do it, but for $50, it's a lot. You can go backstage during intermission and meet everybody that's on the show.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of people did it. It was a huge line. I was like, I'll just sit in my balcony seat and hang out.
Get a kiss from Mickie James.
I saw Mickie James up close because they had some people come out and do autographs below. I saw her up close, and Velvet was there.
How'd she look?
They look better on TV. I mean, when you see them up close, it's like you see the makeup look caked on and everything.
You get a hand job from ODB,
They're still not bad. Nothing to snicker at or anything like that. But
not as bad as Oksana, who we saw at Fan Access.
It was a lot of fun. If you have a chance to go to TNA, I would any of the shows definitely go. And follow my advice: get the cheapest ticket at the door. You don't have to pay Ticketmaster taxes, all that shit, and you can pretty much sit wherever you want because no one shows up.
Wow.
But it was basically like a private show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My own private show.
That's awesome, man.
It was a lot of fun.
All right, so TNA this week. Another interesting, fun week for TNA, I think.
Oh, it was really good.
Really good show.
Oh, yeah.
So the show opens up. They say, well, this week we're doing something different with the Bound for Glory series.
The Joker's wild tag event.
Yes. So basically, everyone who's in the Bound for Glory series is going to be randomly drawn, and they're going to be formed random tag teams. So we're going to start the night with random tag team matches. The tag teams that win are then going to be entered into this gauntlet match at the end of the night, an over-the-top rope gauntlet match, and the winner of that is going to receive 25 whopping points. That's a big chunk of points for the Bound for Glory series, okay? So, it was interesting because the one thing I didn't like about the night is that you knew what was going to happen. The tag teams that they randomly pick are always the people who hate each other,
Yeah, there's 3 matches. 2 of them had that going on.
Right.
2 of the matches were the teams that don't get along. One of them was a straight-up match, which was real good.
Right.
But they were all fun to watch, and there was a lot of good wrestling on the show. But
yes.
So the first one was Joe and AJ Styles,
who just had a crazy match, a week or 2 ago.
Right. And against what was it? I don't remember.
I don't remember who they wrestled. I remember the teams. Like you had Hernandez and that guy from Gut Check.
That was the next match.
They had Daniels and Kaz, but they weren't in a team. They were split with Bobby Roode and Austin Aries.
Yeah.
And then, who did Joe? It was Magnus. Magnus and
Magnus was on the other team. It was Magnus and Anderson.
Magnus and Anderson was the team that Joe and Styles went.
No, it wasn't.
We're so confused, man. What the fuck?
I told you to look it up. I can't remember.
Whatever.
It's 3 days ago.
Whatever. So, Magnus and Anderson won. Joe and AJ won, right?
Joe and AJ won. That was really good.
Yes.
I'll remember by the end of this. Then it was Anderson and Magnus teaming up. And they don't get along because it was Aces and Eights and the Mafia together.
So they don't get along.
And they were against Jay Bradley and Hernandez, who don't get along either.
Right.
And Magnus beat them by himself.
Yeah, by himself completely.
Anderson wouldn't tag in.
Right.
And then it was Kazarian and Roode against Daniels and Aries.
Yep.
And Kazarian pinned Daniels. Like he didn't see him, and there was all kinds of chaos. He pinned him.
Right.
But those were fun matches to watch.
Fun matches, yeah, they were. And then this led into the main event, which was the Big Gauntlet, and it was Magnus, right? Magnus won it?
Magnus won, so it was all the guys that won. They're now against each other in over the top
gauntlet match.
Gauntlet match where they come out every minute or whatever, 2 minutes.
Right. And that was a good match. It was
that was cool. Yeah, Magnus. Well, then it turned into Magnus and Roode, the last 2.
Yeah, singles.
Then it turned into an actual match.
Right.
And Magnus won that.
Magnus won. So now he has a ridiculous amount of points, right?
He's not gonna win that.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be the red herring. He's ahead, and all of a sudden, at the end he loses or whatever.
All right. It was Jeff Hardy.
Oh yeah, and Joseph Park.
There you go.
They teamed up. Yeah,
that's
right.
That was a good match. That was real good.
Yes.
And then the best match of the show was the knockouts match.
Right. So there was a knockouts ladder match for the number 1 contendership?
It was. Mickey was at ringside. That's why.
Mickey was at ringside, and it was Taryn Terrell against
Gail
Kim. Thank you. What a match! I mean, they were destroying.
That was a real ladder match.
They were destroying each other. They were doing crazy
spots. Sometimes there's the women's ladder match, but this was a real ladder match.
Figure 4 on the ladder.
They're falling off the ladder. They had the ladder going through the ropes into the other ladder, and they were doing spots with that.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It was crazy stuff, and they had a really creative ending to it, where Taryn's good. She's actually pretty big.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
She can go.
Yeah.
They were both against the ropes, and I think Taryn had Gail in a dragon sleeper against the ropes, and Gail behind Taryn's back was tying her hair.
Right, she tied it to the ropes.
To the ropes.
Yeah.
And she got out of the submission, and then Taryn's like, "Oh shit, I can't move."
Can't move.
And then Gail ran up, grabbed it, And Tara almost got back to stop her, and that was really creative and stuff. And
yes.
It was brutal. They went all out on that.
Now this is interesting because Gail and Mickey are technically both heels, so you have two knockout heels who are going to have a title match.
And they're both really good workers, and it's going to be good stuff.
Right. So pretty good. That was a really good match. I enjoyed it. And then the last announcement of the night, which was like the big thing, is who's going to join the main event Mafia.
Well, first of all, it was if you have the X Division title, you can exchange.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
You can exchange it for a shot at the world title at
Yes.
Destination X every year.
Yes. And
it's similar to the Money in the Bank, but I actually think it's better because as you saw last week, they're actually trying to like fight over something. It's not like the guy's dead and you come out here. I'm cashing this in.
Right. It's a real match. Right. It's a fair match.
So Sabin comes out. He decides he's going to cash it in. But then Bully comes out. Bully's doing an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
He's just really entertaining to watch. He's probably my favorite character in all of wrestling right now. At the live show he was just amazing. Just heals the crowd out, goes into the crowd. People running, trying to get at him. There's security stopping them, and he's just got that old school heelness that no one has anymore, really, in the entire business. And Bully's basically like, don't do it. If you know what's good for you, don't cash this in. And then Sabin starts bringing up things from the past. He goes, if you remember, Team 3's retirement match, if they lost the match, it was them versus the Machine Guns. It was a couple years ago. If Team 3D lost, then they can't ever, they have to break up, right? That was the stipulation. Right. And Sabin pinned Bully in that match, which doesn't even make sense because they team up now. But
right, yeah.
Whatever. And then they were going back and forth, and then Bully's like, you better not do it. And Sabin's like, oh, here it is. And then he cashed it in. So next week, they're going to do the world title match.
Yes, Destination X world title match, Sabin against Bully. That'll be good.
That'll be fun.
And then finally, the new member of the main event Mafia.
Because the Aces and Eights all come out. He goes, you're not going to fight just me, you're going to fight my whole family.
Right, like they're going to attack Sabin.
So the main event Mafia comes out, and their theme song's pretty annoying, by the way.
I know. It's like...
It's really annoying.
It's like annoying.
No, it's like it's trying to supposed to be like The Godfather with what is that, like electronic music?
Yeah, it sounds weird.
Dubstep behind it or something.
Dubstep,
I don't know what that shit is. But then the main event Mafia come out, and then all of a sudden our newest member, Rampage Jackson,
they're like,
oh, it's okay.
I don't think he'll wrestle. He'll probably just be there as like an enforcer.
He'll be there once a month
or something.
You should just keep it at that 5 though. That's a good group.
That's a good group.
Don't add any more.
It's a solid group.
That's enough.
Those 5 against. Well, how many are in the Aces and Eights now? There's 4, 5, 6, 7.
They lost D-Lo.
There's like 8, I think, still. I think they had like 10, and now they're done like 8 or something like that.
They had like 20. Remember that week that they had all the stuff that was filmed backstage that they like.
Oh yeah.
Was happening live.
Yeah.
There was like 50 guys in masks.
It's pretty funny.
So there's like 6. There's like 7 or something.
All right, so this was a great week for wrestling. I'm gonna say right now, I think the hottest things are Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, they even have new taglines for him: respect the beard and stuff like that. And Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin right now, white hot. How's he gonna do against Bully? Honestly, I don't think he's gonna win next week.
He's not gonna win, but he doesn't have to win.
He's doing a good job.
You just get him close enough that you could always put him back in that spot.
Give him the rub.
Exactly.
Right? Give him the rub. That's what he needs. So, really good week for wrestling. Very excited to see what's going to happen on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and also on Destination X. In fact, for the first time in months, I am going to watch Money in the Bank. I'm actually going to purchase the pay-per-view and watch it. I'm going to purchase it. I think that WWE this month has
supposed to watch it.
They've earned my purchase.
That's what you're supposed to do.
For this month, okay? Now, they could completely blow it on the pay-per-view and piss me off, but they've done a good job this month. They've earned my money, okay? So, I actually announced this on my podcast earlier this week, but anyone who wants to watch it live with me, I'm going to actually be here in my stream chat on Twitch, chatting it up with fans who are watching it as well. So anyone who's watching it live, if you want to do a talk...
You're going to be streaming the pay-per-view live?
No, I'm not streaming the pay-per-view. I'm just going to be chatting. There'll be no video, just chatting in the chat live during Money in the Bank on Sunday night, okay?
There's a lot of good stuff going on. The Money in the Bank is looking really fun. That looks like a great show. The Bound for Glory series has made TNA amazing again. Every summer, they're really good.
Yep.
You should definitely check it out if you're not watching it.
Yes.
Ring of Honor's about to start a world title tournament.
Oh, wow.
Which has got a lot of great guys in it. Not just from the Ring of Honor roster. Other guys are coming in.
Does Briscoe still have the title?
He lost the title. He was attacked, and he had to give up the title. But there's all kinds of rumors now. This plays into what I'm about to talk about next. The WWE opened this huge developmental facility in Orlando, which is like a state of the art thing. This happened yesterday, and Triple H was there, and the McMahons, and they had this big press conference about it and everything. They had like they're gonna have this huge facility where everything's in house. They have like 7 rings in there. I read a description about it. You walk in the doors, there's like 7 rings. There's all these different trainers, all these different wrestlers. And they're signing a huge amount of guys from the indies.
Huh.
And this is why the WWE will never be caught. Like, no one will ever compete with them. It's impossible to ever get ground on them.
Yeah.
Because they'll just you have a hot company or something going on, a hot act. They're just gonna take it. They're just gonna plick it.
So you think that's what happened?
That's what always happened. It's what's always happened. But there's all kinds of rumors that the Briscoes are going there. Other guys are going there. And they're looking to sign a lot of guys for this developmental facility.
Wow.
That they have.
So who's the title holder now?
It's vacant. That's where they're doing the tournament.
Oh, wow, it's vacant.
It's vacant, but the tournament's got Paul London, Kendrick's in it, Sanjay Dutt's in it.
Wow.
Carl Anderson's in it. There's all these different guys. They didn't even announce all the guys. They're trying to make a really nice tournament, so that's going to be fun to watch.
Huh.
It's gonna go over like 3 months or so.
Matt Hardy?
I don't know if he's in it. He might be in it. He does good stuff there. People make fun of him. But he's really fun in that company because like everyone just hates him so much.
DDP's in it.
DDP and Jake Roberts.
Yes.
So there's a lot of good stuff going on in wrestling. So.
All right, so
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Later today, we will be simulating the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in WWE 14. I almost said 13.
14. You have it
for the very first
time.
Should
have sent you an early copy
in over 3 months.
Oh wow! You better watch this one.
We're doing the simulation, so definitely, whether it's on Twitch TV, live streamed, or on YouTube, check it out. It's going to be uploaded to DSP Gaming after we actually simulate on stream. So definitely check that out. We're very excited to do it. We've got all kinds of, we got custom wrestlers we downloaded, we got music, everything. It's going to be awesome. We really think it's going to be well done, hopefully. So,
I'll be fine. What's going to happen?
And next week we'll be back. Next week we'll be back to recap the pay-per-views. Next week Smark Guy is going to be huge because we're going to have so much to talk about.
I'm excited to watch everything.
This is a great week for wrestling. I'm actually really excited. What a difference from WrestleMania, where it was like so deflating.
Because WrestleMania, you got to realize they don't have to try. It's WrestleMania.
That's true.
They know you're going to watch it anyway, so they don't have to,
That's a good point.
They just throw, there you go.
All right, so that's it for Smart Guys, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Definitely, we'll hope that you'll join us for our WWE pay-per-view simulations. And next week we'll be back to recap all the crazy excitement that happened this week in wrestling. So, thanks a lot for tuning in. For John Rambo, I'm DSP. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. Peace out.